So inside of this video, we're going to set up your conversion tracking API. Now you're like, Craig, what the heck is that? And it sounds complicated. I'm here to tell you that it's not, and it's very simple to set up. Actually, this is probably going to be one of our shorter videos, okay? But what this essentially is, and if you were paying attention in the last video where we set up the Facebook ads, this is your tracking so that you know if your campaigns are working or not working, okay? So if somebody clicks on an ad and then they land on your landing page, they fill out a survey, or if you're doing the coupon igniter system, they either take you up on the coupon or they fill out the survey. And then after that, they're either booking on your calendar, or you're giving them a call, or they're coming into your store, whatever it may be, or we're giving them a coupon, whatever it may be. We want to tell Facebook, hey, we just got a booked call. Hey, we just got somebody to take us up on our coupon offer. Go find us more of those. Go find us more of those. So what our system does is it essentially sends that data back to Facebook and says, hey, we got exactly what we wanted. Go find us more of those. And Facebook then starts to optimize based on, the results that it is getting. Okay. So, and this is all automatic. There's nothing that you have to do, which is really great. So inside of this video, I'm going to teach you exactly how to set this up. Now, a quick backstory on what the pixel is versus conversion API versus data sets. Oh my. Like there's all these crazy names out there, and let me just clarify this so everyone is once again all on the same page. Now, real quick, back in the day, like several years ago, Apple, they're a privacy, balanced company, let's just put it that way. And one day they just decided that they do not want Facebook or any other platforms for that matter tracking, people that use iPhones or Macs or iPads or any Apple products for that matter. Okay. So there's a piece of code that we used to copy and paste from Facebook and put on our website or our funnel. This was called the Facebook tracking pixel. Okay. The issue is that Apple, with their privacy idea, was anytime you visited any site that had this tracking code on, Apple would essentially just strip off that code. So guess what? Now everyone can't figure out if their campaigns are working or not. If they're an Apple user, which a lot of people are, there's just absolutely no tracking. It was a huge problem. Zuck was probably not happy that day. But things change. There's also something out there that actually, it's been out there since actually the same time as, and just like history repeats itself, there is something to actually fix this. And that is called Conversion API. Now, Conversion API has actually been around for a really long time, but this is not a piece of code that you put on your website, but it is on the server side. I know you don't care about this. I'm just giving you the background so that you know why it's called Conversion API. That's it's a learning program. I just want to make sure that you know what it is, and so we can reference it. Okay, but Conversion API is on the server side, so there's no code to strip off. So all we have to do is copy and paste a simple string of numbers and letters that are all put into one big old bunch of numbers and letters, whatever I'm trying to say. And we just need to copy and paste that onto Funnel Visions from our Facebook, our Facebook ads platform, okay, from Ads Manager. So that's all we have to do, just copy and paste and set this thing up. So now we can figure out, once again, which campaigns are working and which ones aren't, okay? And it's actually really quite simple to do, guys. So let's just hop into this. I'm going to show you how to set this thing up, and I won't bore you with any more history. So what you want to do is log into Funnel Visions. You want to click on Automations. If you remember automations, we talked about, when we were setting up our reminder emails for when people would book on our calendar. This was the last time we used it. But this time we're going to be using it for Facebook ads tracking. And the cool part is, yep, I have it all built for you. So just click on the Facebook ads tracking folder. And I have 3 of them in here that I built for you. Okay. Now there's going to be 3, and that's because there's essentially 3 different case scenarios for this. So the first one is if you were using Coupon Igniter. This is if somebody clicks on an ad, they want to buy one, get one free hamburger, and then they want that coupon, right? So they click on the ad, they visit the landing page, they type in their email, and then they get the coupon, okay? So in that case, I'm just going to go run through these 3 really quick. They're obviously very short. So in that case, the form that you use for, like the email form is essentially like where the person puts in their email form. We just want to go and find it, okay? This is already done, so you don't have to worry about it. But you just take my stuff out, and you want to click on the forms. You're going to have all different kinds of forms in here. You just want to click on the form that you used for your coupon setup. And if you've been watching these videos, we just labeled it coupon form, but yours obviously might be different. But essentially, that is the form that you want to select. I'm just going to select this landscaping one just as a placeholder, okay? And then you want to hit save, okay? So what this is going to do is it's going to look for this form, and if this form is submitted, that's what this is doing. So if the form is submitted and the form is coupon form, whenever somebody puts in their email and hits submit, boom, it's triggered, okay? And when that is triggered, that means we collected an email address. And if we collected an email address, then what's going to happen is this Facebook CAPI, I label it CAPI, Conversion API, right? And we could call it CREG or complete registration. I can fill this out. I'll just, to make it easier, Conversion API. So we're all on the same page here. So essentially, this fires, and the only thing that you have to change in this is, first off, the trigger, change that. The form, you have to select your form, and then all we have to do is copy and paste our access token, and then copy and paste our pixel ID. That is all we have to do, and then we have to select what event it is. And most of the time, we're going to be using complete registration for all three of our setups, actually. Unless somebody's buying something, then obviously we would select purchase. Okay, so purchase, right? So we're pretty much only going to be using completed registration. Okay, and then after that, we just want to hit save. Okay, that's really it. Make sure to hit save, and then hit save in the top right corner. And then once you have that set up, make sure you flip the switch onto publish and hit save again, okay? I'm not going to do it because this is a demo. So there you go. So that's the Coupon Igniter way. Now, let's just go back here. Now, we have two other ones. We have a calendar setup, and then we have no calendar. I'm going to do the no calendar one first, and you'll see what I mean here. So under our, I'm just going to go back to our example. So when somebody clicks on, let's just say, an ad for landscaping, okay? We've been using this example the entire time. So if somebody clicks on an ad for landscaping, and then they come here, and then they fill out, this survey. This is a survey. And they're going to be filling this out, and then they essentially make it to the the thank you page, right? So I'll just show you here. So they eventually, they click on the ad, they go to this page, they eventually fill out the survey, and then they go to the schedule appointment page. Okay. Now this page you can use for all different kinds of things. You could do it as a calendar where essentially somebody is booking, like a time. Maybe it's like a Zoom call with you. Maybe it's a phone call with you. Maybe you're coming to their location because you're like testing their water or cutting their grass or something or whatever it may be. Maybe you're calling them. I don't know. But in some scenarios, some business scenarios, you're not going to use a calendar because it wouldn't make sense. It would just make sense to call the person, right? So maybe you have like a sales team or something and they're calling the person that just signed up, and you, instead of the calendar, it might just be like, hey, thanks so much for registering. Here's our phone number, or here are driving directions, or whatever it may be, but you might not be using a calendar, okay? If that's you and it's just a survey that they're filling out to gather some information, if that's you, this is the one that you want to use, the no calendar option, okay? And this is essentially, what's going to happen is it's survey submitted, right? So after the survey is submitted right here, after they fill that out and hit submit, and it goes all the way through to the end, and they hit the submit button, and we get their contact information and everything, what's going to happen then is it's going to trigger the conversion API, the Facebook ads conversion API, okay? And once again, all we have to do is drop in our token and our pixel ID for this to work. That's really it, okay? Now, to get this guy set up, I'm gonna hit cancel. To get this set up, just make sure that you come in here, you click on trigger, and then your survey is whatever your survey is. For us, we have two of them in here, but if you whatever business you are, whatever survey you have, we use landscaping before. So you just click on landscaping or whatever your survey is, and then hit save trigger, okay? After you save the trigger, make sure that you also hit save on the top. Always just save it, okay? And then we're going to be going over this section. This section is going to be the same for all three of these setups, okay? So there's really nothing that we're going to have to cover in here. You just have to see it once, okay? So after that is done, just make sure to, once again, flip the switch and hit save, publish, and save, right? So I'm not going to save this. It's going to yell at me. There you go. And There's one other thing that I wanted to do actually. Since we're here, I wanted to just make this easy for everyone. So I'm going to type in conversion API and save that because it just makes more sense. It just makes more sense. So next thing, Facebook tracking with calendar. So this is pretty much, what we've been building the entire time is where somebody clicks on an ad, they see this page, they fill out the survey, but then they also have the booking page, okay? So we don't want this trigger or this trigger essentially to fire our conversion API, our Facebook tracking until after they book, okay? After they book on our calendar. So essentially after they make their appointment, they select it and they go through all the steps, fill this out and hit this button right here. That's when we want to send it, okay? And the reason for that, the reason why we can't just do this all in one, we have 3 of them here, like the couponing nighter one with calendar, without calendar. The reason for that is because remember, the tracking we want set up as close to our goal as possible. And we talk about this in the previous video, on the Facebook ads setup video. And, we could have this trigger right after the survey for everyone. But if that's not like your main goal, if your main goal is to get people to book on your calendar, then we want the tracking code to be after the calendar. We want to get as close as possible to the end result. If somebody buys a product from us, that's when we want it to fire. We don't want it to fire like on an add to cart where it's just like, yeah, I added it to my cart and then I left. Like that wouldn't be good data, right? So the data that we want is somebody booked an appointment, and that's who we want more of. So Facebook, go find us more of those people that just booked on our calendar, okay? If they just filled out the survey and we're just, we're not using the calendar system, then the survey would be the closest thing that we could possibly get our hands on, right? I hope that makes sense. And as far as the coupon igniter system, it would be, essentially they sign up for their coupon and then we just give them the coupon. So when we give them the coupon, they have it, right? So that's when we would fire it, okay? So I hope those 3 make sense, okay? Again, if you get lost on any of this, make sure to hit me up in the community or, jump on the weekly live call. And, I can help you set this up right on the live call. It's pretty straightforward. If you've done it a few hundred times, maybe a few thousand times for clients and multiple agencies and on every different software ever, it gets a little tricky when you're running that many different pieces of software because everyone is a different way of doing it. Funnel Visions makes it very easy. We just 1, 2, 3. That's 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right, guys, let's get this thing finally set up. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is go into your business settings, your Facebook ads business settings. How do you get to Facebook business ad settings? Well, you can, just click on the link below. I'll link it if I'll just link it down there. How about that? But if you go to business.facebook.com/settings, business.facebook.com/settings, I'll just put a link on the bottom here. And that's how you can get in. If you haven't seen this page yet, I don't know how you got here because you should have already set all this up if you're following these videos in order. So if you haven't and you have no idea what any of this is, you should go watch the Facebook Business Manager setup video, okay? It's right when we start talking about ads. So make sure you go watch that video. Otherwise, you're going to be totally lost and none of this is going to be even set up. So I don't know how you would be here otherwise, okay? So that being said, let's, I'm going to shrink these just to kind of show you how to find this. But once you're in your business settings, okay, we want to go to data sources, okay? So click on data sources and pixels. If you click on pixel, you'll notice we have a new location because we can't do that anymore because Apple got rid of that basically. So what we want to do is go to data sets, okay? And if this is the first time you're ever doing this, this is all going to be blank. All you want to do, it might even be a button in the middle, but you just want to click add, okay? And then we can name this data set. Now, we can name this anything we want. It doesn't matter. It's only for our eyes only. I just usually call my stuff agency. So I'm just going to say agency 2, okay? But you guys can name it whatever you want. The name of your business is fine, okay? It's just for your own identification purposes. There it goes. Okay, so now there's all this stuff, and this is like, I'll be honest, people get really confused very quickly in here. So, just stick with me here and follow through. And again, like if you have questions, just hit me up in the group, or we can do this on a live call. But we want the metapixel and the conversion API, okay? It's recommended. That's the one that we should go with. Let's hit next. Okay, so now there's different ways of doing this. We can check for partners, or we can install the code manually. We want to do it manually, okay? It's going to be better because there's more things that we can select in there, okay? So install code manually. And now we're going to be, taken to this page, and we just want to hit continue. Now, all these different options here, we do not have to select all these different options. They give you a couple ones that we can choose for that, these are pretty much like, your standard industries. The ones that we want to go after, guys, the ones that you're probably going to, the only ones that you're ever going to use in a lifetime. First off is, let's see if they have all of them actually. Yeah, it looks like they do. So we're going to want purchase, complete registration. We could do view content's good to have. Add to cart we should have. We could do initiate checkout. That looks good. And you can add schedule too, okay? So I would go with these. Now, look, you can add this stuff later if you want. And if you have no idea what this is, I wish I could, we're in the screen now, so I can't really show you easily. But if you remember back in the previous video, when we were selecting for our pixel, like, should it be a complete registration? Should it be a purchase? Like what is the result that we're trying to get you? Facebook is like, what are we trying to get you? Are we trying to get you a purchase, or somebody to fill out your survey, or a booked call? Like, what is it? So all these things, honestly, they actually don't mean anything other than just putting it in plain English for you, okay? Like, these are just like, I can't even explain it any easier, but purchase technically could be the same thing as a complete registration. These all could technically be the same. It's just how we actually set it up inside of our software here, inside of Funnel Visions. I'll get on that in a second, but I would go with view content, add to cart, initiate checkout, purchase, complete registration, and schedule. These are good ones to go with. Primarily, we're only going to be using complete registration, and then sometimes purchase, obviously, if you're selling something, okay? But primarily, these two we're going to be using. So select those, and it's okay if it says retail. You can select these. It's just like they're trying to give you an ideas of which ones to go with, but these are the main ones that you want, okay? Hit continue. I always elaborate so freaking much. Let's get it moving, Craig. Let's get it moving. Now, this part right here, everyone gets confused on, okay? And I will, hopefully make this very, very simple for you. And I'm probably going to take, what I'll do, guys, is I'll take a screenshot of this just to make your life a hell of a lot easier. And so you know which ones to select here. But I'll drop like a link below this video so that you can just like pull this up side by side. But essentially what we're going to do here is we're going to have to check off some of these boxes, and then we're going to have to do it for each of these, okay? So this is going to take like a minute, okay? So just kind of like going through these, we really don't need to select much up here other than event ID. I'm just going to fill out the first one, and then I'll screenshot it and I'll put it below. But we want that. We want client IP. We want first name. We want, let's see here. Yeah, we definitely want click ID. We're going to want, I hate all these little like these things drive me nuts. These little things that like hover absolutely drives me crazy. Like, I can't click on stuff because it hovers over. So email, browser ID, and then last name, okay? These are usually the ones that I go after. We could go down a crazy rabbit hole talking all day about all these things, but these are usually the ones that I personally go with, okay? Again, we can get all advanced and everything. But so I have these all selected. Now what you have to do is click on the next thing, which is complete registration, and you just have to click on all the same things again. I know it's very annoying, but it is what it is, all right? So that one, and yeah, first name, and come on, stop jumping around, okay? Got that, and then we'll check them in a second because we want to double check them as well, because sometimes we miss them. Even if you think you're the best clicker, you will miss them. I think already I missed those. Nope, I got them. So that. Oh, and event ID. Okay. That looks good. IP, yeah, okay. So we go to the next one. Okay. First name, boom, boom. Ah. Goodness, these pop things drive me insane. So there you go. Make sure I didn't miss any, okay? We're gonna do the schedule. Done. First name, stop bouncing around. See, you can see how crazy that is. It's so annoying. Trying to click on stuff and then view content. Okay, almost done. Oh, see, and that happens too. Click on a stupid link. Drives me insane. So we got all these added. Now double check them. What I usually do is I click on the first one and I click on the second. I just click on them fast and I see if anything changes. That's how I usually do this. Oh. Why is that? I don't know. Why is that different? Oh, it's because it's purchase. Yeah, purchase is a little bit different. Again, like you read all about this and do whatever you want to do with this, and you know. Again, this is just like my setup, okay? Like this is just my setup. So once you have all those things added, hit continue. And once you hit continue, this is just like a preview, so hit continue again. And then we could have like a copy of these instructions, but we don't need that because we're going to install this ourselves. So what we want to do is hit continue. Events manager. Oh, it actually jumps you right into it now. That is actually quite nice. So, and why does this look all different? It always looks different. Every time I'm in here, everything always looks different. Okay, so I'm gonna have to block some of this stuff out because there's numbers and IDs all over the place. But what we're gonna wanna do is make sure that your data set is selected, the one that you just made. So make sure it's highlighted, okay? And by the way, if you don't know how it got here, just so you're aware of this, you can hit, when you're in your Facebook Ads Manager, you can hit this hamburger menu up here, and you can go to Events Manager, okay? Sometimes it'll be in the top, sometimes it'll be in the list. I don't know why they do it that way. These are like your shortcuts. So it's like the stuff that you've used previously, but look for Events Manager, okay? And when you click on Events Manager, it'll look just like this or similar because Facebook changes everything every day. So click on Agency 2, there you go. And what we wanna do first is click on settings, okay? So click on Agency 2 or whatever you named yours, click on settings, okay? Now, what we want to do is, here's our data set ID, okay? We're gonna need that in a second. I'm just gonna scroll down, if I can find it. Give me a second. There we are. So turn on automatic advanced matching. We want this on, okay? Automatic advanced matching, just flip that on, okay? And yep, that looks good. Okay, good. So the next thing we want to do is this, and I'm gonna have to block this. There's a lot of this. I mean, yeah, we might. I don't know. I'll see how I handle this. But the data ID, so this data set ID, click on this and copy that to your clipboard, right? So when you click on that, it copies to your clipboard, okay? And the next thing we want to do is hop back into Funnel Visions. Now we can decide, which one of these are we doing, because it's going to be the same on all of them. Like it's not going to matter. So let's just say, for example, we want to do the Facebook tracking with calendar, okay? So you click on automations and that's where these are, okay? We want to go to the conversion API and where it says pixel ID, okay? Insert pixel ID, just delete that and then paste this in. Now, it says pixel ID here and it says data set, where'd it go? It says data set ID here. It's the same thing, okay? So just that's the number that you want in there, okay? So you're gonna drop that in right there under pixel ID. And then the next thing we want is we wanna make sure that complete registration is selected, okay? Unless we're doing purchases or something else outside of these videos, this training, complete registration is what you want, okay? The next thing that we are gonna need is our access token, okay? So where do we find our access token? Very, very simple. Come back in here and we're still under settings, okay, same place, but we want to scroll down kind of towards the bottom here. And this is really super tiny. I don't know why they make it so tiny, but you're going to find a link. There's going to be this weird tiny little link where it says generate access token, okay? You see it? It's under Conversion API. It's really tiny. It's a blue hyperlink, and you have to click on that. That's what you need. And there you go. So now, when it has all these characters and all this gobbledygook going on, so you just clip it, and it'll click it, and it'll copy to the clipboard, and then you just want to paste that in right there. There you go, guys. That's it. That's all you got to do. Hit save, right? And I'm actually going to save this because I don't want to screw this up. But you want to hit save, and then after that, you want to flick this on to publish and hit save again. Okay. And there you go. It's all set up. And what's cool about this is that pixel ID and that access token, no matter which one of these you do, no matter if you do the Coupon Igniter version, the no calendar version, or calendar, it's all the same, okay? The only thing that's important not to miss is that you got to make sure that your trigger on the top is actually, like, for example, this is the calendar, right? Make sure that your calendar is selected, not mine. Make sure your calendar is, and make sure it's not blank. Hit save, turn it on and publish, and hit save again. Doesn't matter, out of all these three, make sure that you don't miss that step. Otherwise, it's not going to work, and it should say publish here. Now, there is only one more step, and that is to test it, okay? And there's different ways that we could test it. I mean, you could test it within here. You could test it with this test code down here. I actually don't usually do it that way. And you could look at your execution logs too, like to see if there's any data in here. So once there's data in there, then you know it's working. But the best and easiest way, I think, to test this, and you have to test it, just make sure you test this. So, and there's nothing that you have to save on this page, by the way. There's nothing you have to save. So the best way to test this now is, now that that is set up, right? Go back to your to sites, okay? Go back to sites. Go to find your funnel. So ours is landscaping. And I'm not actually going to do this because I didn't save it, in the automations. But what you want to do then is go to this page, and, your link will be up here. Like when you're, we've talked about this before. When your domain name is up here, you can grab that link, or you could just do it. So you should have your domain added. It's the only way, really easy way to make this test work, okay? So you go to settings, you add your domain name. If you don't know how to do that, then go watch the domain videos. I have no idea how you got here if you didn't watch those videos yet. So make sure your domain's added, and your domain should be right up top. Copy and paste that into a browser. Preferably an incognito window, right? Like you guys know the incognito windows, right? Like one of these things. Drop that link in here. And essentially what that is going to do then is it's going to load the page, obviously. Obviously, it's going to load the page. But this time, the tracking code is, it's watching for this to be filled out, right? So when you're in that incognito window, right, then go once again and fill this survey out. Fill the survey out, go through it, do the next, all the way through. And then essentially book yourself on the calendar. It depends obviously which of tracking you're using, if you're doing it with the calendar, without the calendar, or the coupon thing, the Coupon Igniter setup. But just go do whatever it is. So if you're doing the Coupon Igniter, go sign up for the coupon. If you're doing without the calendar, then fill out the survey, and then you're done. If you're doing it with the calendar, then go fill out the survey, and then fill out this calendar and get to the thank you page, right? Because what's going to happen then is that Facebook, or our website, or our funnel, is going to tell Facebook, hey, we just got a completed registration. We just got a completed registration. And what's going to happen then is, if you go to your overview, so this is, once again, if you know where we are, this is the events manager. So once you go here, an overview, you're going to see a graph eventually, and make sure this is on the right date. So like today, okay? So you're going to see a graph, and this takes, after you fill those things out, you go through the calendar booking or the coupon, however you guys have it set up. Wait about, and it even says it actually right here. This activity might not appear for up to 30 minutes, which is true. It usually does take a full 30 minutes, okay? So come back 30 minutes later, go make yourself a sandwich, grab yourself a cup of coffee, grab yourself a Monster, come back in 30 minutes to an hour, maybe a little bit longer, and you should see a little graph here, and it should say, your data set should be showing data right here is essentially all I'm trying to say. Okay. And I mean, there's nothing else to be said. Congratulations, you have tracking. And that is it. That is it. Cool. I told you guys this video is going to be a little bit easier. So I'll link that screenshot on the bottom. And if you guys, once again, have any other questions for me, I've said this a million bajillion times, but make sure you hit me up in the community or hop on that live call. I'll help you guys out to the absolute best of my ability, and we'll get you moving along so you can get this thing finally launched, because I know if you've been watching through the videos, I know this, it's a process, but once you have it all set up, and most of this, again, there's all these templates and everything to make it super fast. Once you watch the videos, or have your employees watch the videos for that matter, it's a pretty simple, straightforward thing to set up. I'm just giving it to you in little chunks so that you can't miss anything. I mean, we can very quickly, burn through this entire program very, very quickly if, I didn't have to break down every tiny little thing. So once you have this information, once you have everything set up, I mean, you're good to go. You're good to go. Maybe a few tweaks here and there on your ads or on your funnel, but there's really, that's pretty much it. So again, guys, I hope you found this video valuable. And if you have any questions, hit me up in the community or live call. We'll see you in the next one.